Call halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders of GMS, including the elders that came before them, that taught us this truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and sincerity. I'm the brother Yashawan back with another lesson video. All right. And ran across this interesting video dealing with the plagues. And the plagues are a sign of what time we're in, okay? Just as when we were delivered, the children of Israel were delivered out of Egypt, it started with basically a fight between the Most High and Pharaoh, right? Which that's why the Most High raised up Pharaoh to put him down and to show his power and to magnify his name. So we're going through that again right now. And tomorrow's the Passover. And all of these things are happening, right, according to the time. So this is how we observe time, all right? And, the scriptures indicate that. So I'm going to bring a couple of precepts. We're going to watch this this video, and I might just break in from time to time and maybe even pull a precept or whatever. All right, so we're going to start here dealing with time. This is 2nd Ezra 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs, okay, past, which I have told thee before. Okay, so here's what we're looking for: time and signs. Sign of the times. All right? And what are these signs telling us? That Yahweh Shem Yahushua is coming back to perform what he said he was going to do. Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Okay? Then it goes into some of the signs. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, okay, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. The beginning is a time. Okay, so let's see. Let's get this. This is Deuteronomy 7. Going back to Egypt. Okay. Let's see. Let's just start here at 17. This is Deuteronomy 7:17. If thou shalt say in thy heart, these nations are more than I, how can I dispossess them? Thou shalt not be afraid of them, but shalt well remember what the Lord thy power did unto Pharaoh and unto all Egypt, the great temptations which thine eyes saw, and the signs, and the wonders, and the almighty and the mighty hand, and the stretched out arm whereby the Lord thy power brought thee out. Okay, so we're about to see great signs, right, and wonder, miracles, okay, technologies, right, mighty hand. We're going to see warfare. There's a war going on that goes into wars and rumors of war. These are all part of the signs letting you know, because again, Pharaoh was at war with the Most High. All right, which is today. This is modern day Egypt, Babylon the Great, and this devil believes that he is in league with the Most High, because the Most High done elevated him to the point where he thinks he can overcome the Most High. So basically, it's the same fight. It's the same war. Okay? Where are we? Let's see. So shall the Lord thy power do unto all the people of whom thou art afraid. Moreover, the Lord thy power will send the hornet among them, until they that are left and hide themselves from thee, be destroyed. Thou shalt not be affrighted at them, for the Lord thy power is among you, a mighty power and terrible. And the Lord thy power will put out those nations before thee by little and little. Thou mayest not consume them at once, lest the beasts of the field increase upon thee. But the Lord thy power shall deliver them unto thee, and shall destroy them with a mighty destruction until they be destroyed. Okay? So, slowly but surely, these plagues, right, are coming into view, and they shall continue until nobody can deny them anymore. Okay? Even something so simple as a mass shooting, right, which there have been several, and they're going to increase. What that is that's this devil, going by his playbook so that he can do certain things like take weapons away. But still, what that's doing is it's bearing down on the psyche of Babylon the Great, is bringing everybody down, right? And preparing everybody basically to go to war with each other, all right? Which is a plague, all right? All right, so let's watch this. I don't know where it is. Here we go. Let's watch this video. And it's a little lengthy.
This is the checkers game where
So I'll probably hop in and give some commentary and maybe bring some precepts. Okay, now hold on. The video is called 7 Plagues That Are Hitting Our Planet Right Now and Creating an Apocalyptic Endgame. Right? And I think I did a video either yesterday or the day before, and it had to do with this apocalyptic endgame. Right? But it wasn't the same. Let me see. Not the same exact video. All right? But it's on the same point, all right? Let's read this. This is the Epic Economist, March 22nd. Today, I believe, is the 24th or the 25th. Let me see. So, lucky, bear with me. It's the 25th today, so this is a couple of days old. And it reads, the entire planet is getting increasingly more unstable due to a series of what they call natural disasters that have been ravaging several parts of the world. Millions of people have already been affected, and millions more are about to face extra challenges and hardships as global emergencies are quickly starting to aggravate, and a lot more chaos seems to be on the horizon. Okay? That's the gist of it. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but okay. So we're just going to watch this, and we're going to, filter it through the scriptures, all right? Here we go.
The entire planet is getting increasingly more unstable due to a series of natural disasters that have been ravaging several parts of the world. Millions of people have already been affected. Millions more are about to face extra challenges and hardships as global emergencies are quickly starting to aggravate, and a lot more chaos seems to be on the horizon.
Now, I just read that, but when you're watching, when you have the visuals, it brings it even more into focus. All right, so.
Today, inspired by a recent article published by the economic collapse writer Michael Snyder, we're going to expose 7 different plagues that are hitting the planet right now. So, welcome to today's Epic Economist video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel to keep updated with future videos. Number 1. An absolute plague of mice is devastating eastern Australia.
Mice. That would fall under pestilence. Okay? Let's watch a little bit.
Can you imagine living in a community infested by hundreds of thousands of hungry rats? That's what's happening right now in Queensland and New South Wales, Australia, where an out-of-control mouse infestation is impacting the lives of farmers, grocers, and many other citizens of the eastern Australian states.
Okay, and quickly, pestilence or mice is what spread the bubonic plague, right? Rat poop, and you know. So this is important. All right. Let's get something real quick here. Let's get Habakkuk. This is Habakkuk 3 and 5. Before him went the pestilence, and the burning coals forth at his feet. All right. And this is the Most High about to destroy. Before him went the pestilence. Okay. And that's what this rat infestation is. All right. Let's watch more.
They are everywhere, hiding inside cabinets, basements, pipelines, running on the streets, destroying barns, and even worse, everywhere they go, they leave a very unpleasant trail that makes entire streets smell horribly. Locals reported having to spend up to 6 hours a day cleaning up mice excrements in an attempt to get rid of the terrible odor. But that's not even the worst part of the problem. The rampaging mice are ruining local farmers' entire grain harvest, and according to recent reports, even hotels were forced to close because it's become impossible to keep the critters out of the rooms. Staff members of a grocery store in a small town northwest of Sydney disclosed to catch at least 600 mice every night.
Look at Jay. So if they're in the grain silos eating up the grain, you know they're pooping in there too. And some of that poop stays with the grain, and then you're going to wind up eating it. Okay? All right? If they're in the grocery stores, same scenario. All right? Think about that.
Steve Henry, a researcher at the Australian National Science Agency, CSIRO, told in an interview that the rat plague is probably the result of an unusually large grain harvest which drew more hungry mice to the area's farms. Meanwhile, a farmer named Alan Brown from the New South Wales city of Wagga Wagga argued in an interview with Reuters that given the incredibly rapid pace of breeding in mice, the current plague was likely just beginning, since a single breeding pair can produce a new litter every 20 days or so, birthing more than 500 offspring in a season.
There was a movie in the, I think it was early to mid 70s. It was called Willard. All right. If you remember Willard, going way back, it was about a guy who was controlling rats. And Michael Jackson made a famous song. It was called Ben, right? And Ben was one of Willard's two killer rats, right? And then the sequel to Willard was a movie called Ben, right? So Ben went on, after they killed Willard, Ben went on to control the rats and the mice. And it's just a crazy situation, but if you go back and look at it, I'm sure that it has everything to do with what's going on in these end times. All right, basically pestilence. So we'll go on.
Number 2, strong magnitude earthquakes. According to the United States Geological Survey, based on long-term records that mount all the way back to 1900, every year at least 16 major earthquakes take place across the globe.
All right, so this is an easy one. Earthquakes. Let's get a couple on this. Let's just go to Matthew.
Buyers and sellers are connected by brokers.
Stop.
México nos entrenó para ser los mejores.
Slovakia. Bear with me. That should work. Let me see. All right, this is Matthew 24 and 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences. There's that pestilence. So here are the plagues. We're looking at them in the video right now. They started with mice and earthquakes in diverse places. Okay? What does that signal? The beginning of sorrows. All right? We see the earthquakes. All right? And, earthly matters, sinkholes, volcanoes, all right? Crazy weather, right? Okay, let's watch more. 7 plagues. Slovakia on the commercials. Bear with us.
15 of these earthquakes are in the magnitude 7 range, and one earthquake magnitude 8 or greater. However, 2021 may be an unprecedented year for such records because up until this point, 7 earthquakes that were magnitude 7.0 or greater have already occurred. One of them was a 7.0 seismic tremor that completely shook Japan. It struck the coast of Ishinomaki, a city located just 65 miles from Fukushima, where a catastrophic 9.0 magnitude quake happened nearly 10 years ago. The USGS reported that the recent earthquake had a depth of 34 miles, and the tremor could even be felt across several areas of Tokyo. Hours after the quake, Japanese government officials reported dangerous changes in sea level and issued a tsunami warning, advising citizens to flee the area. Fortunately, nothing has happened so far, but a tsunami forecast is still on. Number 3, multiple volcanoes are erupting all over the world.
Volcanoes, which probably go hand in hand with earthquakes, all right? So let's look real quick. The earth shall reel to and fro. Let me get that too. Let's get this real quick. This is Luke 12. Let's go to 56. Ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how is it that ye do not discern this time? All right? You can't see. You can't see what's going on before your eyes and what this means. Scriptures are telling you exactly what these things mean. All right? It means that the Most High is about to begin to visit the earth that He made. All right? Let's get this real quick because this is actually talking about when the missiles hit, but I mean it's twofold too. All right, this is Isaiah 24:20. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. Okay, look at all of these things that are happening. All right, look at all the things that are going down simultaneously. All right, it's pretty easy to see that this place is going down. The plagues of Egypt are menacing not only Babylon the Great, but the world at large. All right. Now, again, I'm going to say this again for anybody that wants to, discredit. Uh, this is referring specifically, or primarily, is the word I want to use, to the ICBMs when they hit. Okay, but what be if it already be kindled? Okay. All right? If this place is already on fire before the Most High comes, how much more when he comes? All right? Get that real quick. All right, this is Yahweh Shai. It's Luke 12 and 49. Let's see what's before that. Okay, this is it. Luke 12 and 49. I am come to send fire on the earth. And what will I if it be already kindled? Okay, we know what the lake of fire is. All right. But what is the kindling? All right. It's the plagues that are going on right now. Here's some fire right here.
The latest data released by Volcano Discovery showed that 29 volcanoes are roaring back to life and currently erupting across several countries. Most notably, an Icelandic volcano that had been dormant for the past 6,000 years has just come to life last Friday in the Fagradals mountain, which is located in the southwestern area of the country. It was the first eruption registered in 781 years in the Reykjanes Peninsula, where other volcanoes are also located.
That's molten fire right there. That's the kindling right there.
Residents caught the impressive eruption on camera, and the videos show an enormous explosion of bright lava emerging from the earth, turning a dark landscape red due to the hot liquid rock. Before the eruption, the area has registered earthquakes for weeks, and on Thursday, one day before...
Earthquakes for weeks, okay? Before the volcano, the earthquakes. So they're kind of working hand in hand. Listen.
Before the eruption, the area has registered earthquakes for weeks, and on Thursday, one day before the explosion, the IMO reported that 400 earthquakes happened in a span of less than 7 hours.
400 earthquakes in less than 7 hours. That is significant. That's a significant sign. And then you get the molten lava coming up. So these things are working hand in hand. And then, very few people know about this because they're burying it in the news. They might let it out here and there. But this is significant, all right?
The Icelandic police notified residents should stay indoors, maintain doors and windows firmly closed to prevent gas pollution. According to the United States Environmental Protection Agency, protective measures were extremely necessary, considering that after volcanoes erupt, the lava spews a number of potentially fatal gases, including sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen fluoride. Number 4. A new mega drought is spreading across the southwestern states of the United States. Dust bowl conditions are being seen...
Slovakia on the commercial. Now this next one is, they're talking about heat and dryness, which is going to...
Severe drought was already...
which is going to take the water away, okay? But this has to do with the famine, all right? Because you need water to grow crops, okay? So let's listen to that.
Affecting the state of California over the past few months, but now the weather seems to be worsening, as almost 2/3 of the whole nation are abnormally dry. The federal government's spring forecast revealed that there is little hope for relief for the foreseeable future, and the situation is particularly concerning in the West, where a ravaging mega drought has taken root and was considerably aggravated over the last weeks. Weather Service and agriculture officials alerted for possible water use cutbacks, in addition to higher chances of wildfires, and the fact that local reservoirs such as Lake Mead and Lake Powell are hitting historically low levels.
Now, when you consider the fact that Esau is the Most High sword, okay, and the Most High uses this devil to bring hell on the earth, okay? So when this guy, or you might say, well, that's the harp, that's weather modification, that's Esau controlling the weather. Well, the Most High is controlling his sword and bringing these things to happen, all right? And all these things, in the spirit, you have to understand that, Most High is controlling everything, all right? So when he makes this devil use his harp and wipe out all the crops or start fires on the West Coast, then that's the Most High, having his will be done, all right? Using his sword, all right? And we'll get that.
On top of that, multiple wheat crops suffered irreversible damage. A recent estimate released by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration suggests that the overall spring's outlook includes an expanding drought with a drier than normal April, May, and June for a large swath of the country from Louisiana to Oregon, including some areas hardest hit by the most severe drought.
Look at that Shakara out there.
The research also pointed out that almost all of the continental
They got to show Lucifer out here, the light bearer. Right?
area of the country will experience a warmer than normal spring, except for small parts of the Pacific Northwest and Southeast Alaska, which will in turn make drought even worse. We are predicting prolonged and widespread drought, highlighted the National Weather Service Deputy Director, Mary Erickson, adding that it's definitely something we're watching and very concerned about. The NOAA forecast also anticipates that the spring drought will hit at least 74 million people, as approximately 66% of the United States is already registering unusually dry conditions, the highest mid-March level since 2002. The study predicts that the mega drought will expand to parts of Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, Colorado, Wyoming, and South Dakota, with small islands of relief in some parts of the Great Lakes and New England.
Here's the relief right here. Let's get a precept. Okay. Let's get this real quick. My servants shall. Right here. All right. This is Isaiah 65 and 13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, and that has to do with the famine. If there ain't no water, how you gonna get them crops? All right. Behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. So, right, this drought, all right, is explained right here. Well, if there ain't no water, what are we gonna do? Well, here's what the Most High said. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Now, this means, in the spirit, okay, this means two things, all right? Eating, our bellies are going to be full. Eating, we're going to eat the roll, all right? But ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink. We're going to be baptized by water, all right? This is the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the scriptures, okay? And going back to this drought can be in the spirit, can be equated with the famine of the word, because the word is water. Let's get that real quick. Slovakia. Let's see. This is Ephesians 5:26. That he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word. Okay? All right? So the word is water. All right? So if you take away the water in a drought, in the spirit, you're taking away the word. Famine of the word. Okay? Let's get that. All right, this is Amos 8:11. It says, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will send a famine in the land. Not a famine of bread, okay, which is the word, eat the whole roll, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. And the word is the water, okay? So this is twofold, okay? In the spirit, if you're spiritual, okay? Saying not food, all right? Not physical food and water, but spiritual food and water, the words of the Lord. Okay? Let's go on with this.
Additionally, as the snowpack of Sierra Nevada is 40% below normal levels, Brad Rippey, a meteorologist with the U.S. Department of Agriculture, explained that there will be some water cutbacks and allocation cutbacks in California and perhaps other areas of the Southwest for agriculture and other uses. Nut crops in the Golden State will probably be decimated, and even more worryingly, dry conditions over the coming months will likely bring an enhanced
Slovakia on the folly.
wildfire season, according to John Goldschalt.
If it be already kindled, here comes the California fires, the West Coast fire. This whole place was on fire last year, okay? Coming right up on this time that we're in. All right, the whole West was on fire. How much more this year?
Chief of NOAA's prediction branch. Number 5. Gigantic waves of locusts are sparking chaos in Africa.
Okay, this is an easy one. All right. This is an easy one because this goes directly back to Egypt. Okay, and I mean, we all know that. We all know this, but it has to come in. This is Exodus 10 and 4. Else, if thou refuse to let my people go, behold, tomorrow will I bring the locust into thy coast, and they shall cover the face of the earth, that one cannot be able to see the earth. And they shall eat the residue of that which is escaped, which remaineth unto you from the hail, and shall eat every tree which groweth for you out of the field. And they shall fill thy houses, and the houses of all thy servants, and the houses of all the Egyptians. Who's that? All the Americans, which neither thy fathers nor thy fathers' fathers have seen since the day that they were upon the earth unto this day. Okay? This is letting you know we're in the time of these plagues. All right? Because this is happening all over again. All right? Why? It says, thus saith the Lord. This is Exodus 10 and 3, starting here. Thus saith the Lord, power of the Hebrews, how long wilt thou refuse to humble thyself before me? Let my people go that they may serve me. Okay? And they're not doing that. They ain't letting us go. So what do we get? We get the plagues.
At least. No one had seen anything like it for 70 years, exclaimed Keith Cressman, a top locust guru at the United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization. Cressman, who traveled to Kenya to help mitigate a locust infestation in the country in 2020, wasn't expecting to see a giant army of locusts, almost the size of entire major cities, ruthlessly devouring millions of crops across several parts of Africa, the Middle East, and Asia once again in 2021. The experts said that a single locust swarm could contain 80 million locusts that can fly up to 80 miles a day, depending on the wind. It is incredibly hard to attack the swarms with spraying planes, as pilots have to precisely calculate their moves and act when insects are sleeping. But one single flaw can wake them up and make them fly into the wilderness. In that process, locusts lay millions of eggs, which hatch within 15 days or less.
So when you get a swarm, what they call it biblical. All right? It's a biblical swarm of locusts. Right? And we're bringing it out in the Bible. All right?
Day, each locust can eat its own weight in vegetation, and that multiplies in a 20-fold every 3 months. A single swarm can effortlessly eat as much food as 35,000 people in one day, and multiply 24 times in about 3 months.
Which is bringing on the famine. Okay? The famine of food and water.
Number 6. H5N8 bird flu is suffering rapid mutations in Russia. Strains of H5N8 bird flu have been quickly mutating in Russia.
Here comes these, this is pestilence as well. This is, right? These, you see this guy, what is he doing? Is he making the flu or is he making the cure? Okay? Bird flu. Come on. Mutation. Okay? Russia warns of human-to-human transmission of new bird flu mutation. Wait a minute. That thing stays in the, how does a bird flu come into humans? Okay? When you study, right, diseases and things of that sort, they tend to stay where they're supposed to. Okay? But you got people working diligently to change that. You got devils, right? And in this up and coming piece that I'm gonna do on Project Blue Book, there was one thing as I was watching the series. It was interesting. Of course, it was full of production or whatever. But one of the things that they said at the end of one of the Roswell pieces that they did is because they were shooting at the little beings that were coming out of the ships, and the people remember, well, I saw these little beings. And at the end of one of the segments, they said, yeah, what Dr. Mengele did to those children, okay? And if you understand who Dr. Mengele is, Joseph Mengele, out of Nazi Germany, which is where they were working on, they had a flying saucer or a UFO project that they moved down to Antarctica before the Allied forces came in on either side, rounded up all of the Nazi scientists and divided them and brought them back to Los Alamos, Area 51. And then half of them went over to Russia, where they continued doing what they were doing. So if you get a so-called flying saucer that crashes, and then you get some little tiny beings that come out of there, and then this guy turns around and says, what Dr. Mengele was doing to those children, things begin to add up. You got these mad scientists, these Frankensteins over here, right? They're putting on a production to hide the truth about how the Most High and the angels actually get in, right? Because they got to try to control the narrative. So that's in another piece. I just thought I'd mention that because you got to see what these people are doing, okay? All those experiments and what they call the work that they were doing, the great work that they were doing in Nazi Germany, had to do with the chariots, had to do with experimenting on human beings to, on some Frankenstein shit. So when you get a little, what they call an alien hopping out of a crashed UFO, first of all, the Most High's chariots, they don't crash. But man-made ones do, especially if you're trying to, conduct a psyop, and then you have a little kid jump out of there, right? That has been, put together or grafted together, whatever they were doing to those people. When you find out what was going on there, and then continue, when you follow the trail, you understand? First of all, the money came from Averell Harriman and Prescott Bush. So when they brought them back here to continue their work, all right, you understand that this is the Fourth Reich, all right? So it hasn't went anywhere. That's what movies like Frankenstein and things of that sort are about. So let's get back to this, all right? Whatever they're doing right here, they're in this phase of their operation, which is to poison and make everybody sick. Nothing new. Going back to Tuskegee, going back to smallpox blankets, it's the same thing.
Worrying experts that soon the virus could start being transmitted from human to human. Because of its unusual features, if the virus begins widely spreading amongst humans, it could result in even more lethal virus disease than the one we've been dealing with throughout the past year. Unfortunately, according to the head of the Russian health watchdog, Anna Popova, the new strain has a fairly high degree of probability of human-to-human transmission. Popova warned that this is very likely to happen. Colleagues say that the mutation is continuing very actively. A disturbing prediction comes almost a month after scientists detected the first case of H5N8 transmission to humans at a southern Russian poultry farm, according to a report from the Moscow Times. Furthermore, outbreaks of H5N8 have already been reported
Slovakia.
Even after 10.
I know this is getting lengthy, so we're going to go ahead and bring it to an end real quick.
outside Russia, in some parts of Europe, China, the Middle East, and North Africa, but so far only in poultry. Number 7. If you thought the current vaccines would end the ongoing sanitary outbreak, that may not be the case anymore. Even though mass vaccinations have started in many countries, the new variants found in Brazil might be resistant to the already developed vaccines. At the moment, the situation has become so calamitous that all major Brazilian hospitals are completely overwhelmed. Some facilities are so crowded, they are no longer accepting any new patients. In the southern state of Rio Grande do Sul, ICUs are completely overloaded due to new virus cases.
So all of this is a smokescreen to get that charagma up inside of you. All right, so let's go ahead and close. I believe it's just more of this. Let's see. Let's check this real quick.
What is happening right now is a different health crisis from the one we saw last year, Octane affirmed. A new mutation is 2.2 times more transmissible, and even those who already caught the virus could be vulnerable. A UK study indicated that the P1 variant could evade immunity from a previous virus infection by up to 61%.
So as you can see, this thing is not going nowhere. A shot in the arm isn't going to do anything. What they're going to do is keep releasing new, whatever they're calling variants, strains, and keep shooting you until they come up with the cure-all, right? Which is going to amount to that charagma, all right? This is what they're doing, all right? And all of these are plagues. Let's get one more plague, and then we'll go ahead and close out. This is the main plague that's going to come upon Babylon the Great. And the point of this video is the plagues are here, okay? Let's see, this is the main plague. Zechariah 14 and 12, okay? And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Okay? Now, as you can see, the name of this is 7 plagues that are hitting our planet right now and creating an apocalyptic endgame. Well, wait a minute. Apocalyptic endgame? What about the plague of Zechariah 14? You failed to mention that. Anyway, all right, that's in a different lesson and video. So with that, we're going to say, I hope that the elect were edified. And until next time, shalom.